Hiya guys, Freddy here. Welcome to a modern RPG magazine thing. Something I've never done before, because basically there aren't many RPG magazines around. There's a couple which touch on it, but there's maybe a page or two within them. But they're mainly based towards computer gaming and that kind of stuff. So I was very surprised when one of the guys in my group put up on our Facebook group that there's a new magazine out, Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer. And it's only £1.99, and you get this big box of dice with it. So, definitely worth the £1.99. But I thought I'd grab a copy. I'll get myself some shiny click-clacks, because my goblin side loves having new dice. And I'll have a look through the magazine and see what I think of it. Now, this is a UK-based magazine, printed in London, I believe. So I don't know whether it'll be available to the United States, or whether it's going to be created here and distributed across there as well. But it's definitely worth a look for the first issue being so cheap. Now, the next issue is going up in price and only giving you more dice, so I'm not sure whether I'll bother picking that one up. But I was very, very surprised when I walked into one of the large supermarket chains over here, and they had basically an entire bay of the magazines dedicated to this magazine. I know it's the first issue and it's getting pushed, but I was very, very surprised to see Role-Playing magazine being pushed so prominently in a major store. But anyway, let's go over to the desktop and have a look at Dungeons & Dragons Adventure Magazine, Issue 1. So, this is Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer, which came out from Hatchette Partworks, which is a strange name for a publisher, and it came out this month, September 2023. And it comes in, or comes with it on a piece of card with all the booklets and the dice in a bag on the front. So, having a look at the back, we've got Start Playing Today, Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer. Fire up your imagination and learn to play the world's most popular tabletop role-playing game with Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer. Brand new collection will teach you how to become a D&D expert with an exclusive adventure, easy step-by-step instructions, all the information you need to roleplay compelling fantasy characters. Collect specially designed dice, maps, miniatures, and more given through the collection, and join us on a wild ride through the D&D journey of a lifetime. Inside your magazine, sage advice, expert tips for players and dungeon masters alike, character creation, advice on role-playing characters from wizards to warriors, lore, learn more about D&D's extraordinary locations, terrifying monsters and famous factions, exclusive adventure, hunt for treasure, battle monsters and explore fantastic realms. New D&D designs, enhance your game with dice, maps and more. Alongside every magazine, you'll receive exclusive extras that will help bring your fantasy world to life. This includes beautifully designed dice, complete with storage tins or velvet pouches, as well as miniatures, maps, booklets, and inspiration tokens. Vanquish your foes with our 8-page combat guide. Don't miss issue 2 with your set of 7 gold dice and your exclusive adventurer map, only $4.99, available in 2 weeks' time, and then published weekly from issue 3. So, I've already opened up the bag because I've had a look through. So let's get the card out of the way. Sort of standard design on the back of it. And let's have a look at the dice first. Oh, they come in a nice little presentation tin with the D&D Adventurer on the logo on the top. It's quite nice. The dice are reasonable quality. They're nice shiny, they're in the proper D&D black and red colours. They feel a little light, they seem slightly smaller than standard, but only very slightly. They just seem a little cheap. But they don't look it. They just don't have that weight in your hand. I'm guessing many of you will know what I mean. But a nice little tin. Imported and distributed. It doesn't say who they're made by. They're not made by any of the big dice companies, I guess. So we've got the magazine itself, which is a bunch of pages glued together along the spine, because they are designed to go in a folder, ring bound, be torn apart and put in as different sections within your collection. But we'll come back to that. We've got the Adventurer Introduction to Combat. Combat rules explained. Surprise your enemies, managing hit points, death saves explained. You go in, introduction to combat, rules of engagement, determine surprise, establish positions, roll initiative, take turns, how to handle movement, actions from attack, casting spells, dash, helping someone, hiding, disengaging, bonus actions, beginning the next round. We've got reactions, dealing with hit points and damage, doing damage rolls, average damage, damage resistance, losing hit points, instant death, death saving throws. And then we've got an example of combat. So talking through what happens. As it was described before. The halfling wizard is the first to act, etc. And it goes on to round 2. Now, one of the things I've got to note, I'm not sure how visible on camera it is, but it's got these weird staples on it, which, funny enough, match up to the ring binder. So you can add this into a folder as well. It's quite interesting. We've got a booklet special subscription offer. Buy issue 2 and receive issue 3 for free, plus fantastic free gifts. So issue 2, you get gold dice, although those look just orange or yellow to me. Issue 3 comes with, they're the flat printed miniatures. They're not actually 3D miniatures, they're just a sheet of plastic, clear plastic with the image on the back. Free Dungeons and Dragons Adventurer dice tray. Issue 3, dice tray, get an adventure binder, which looks fairly pretty. A Dungeon Master screen with your 5th delivery. And a dice jail. Got a D20 that won't stop rolling ones? Banish it to your troublesome dice into this very own wooden dice jail with your 7th delivery. And a form to fill out to send away. Token to give to your newsagent. Please reserve my copy of the magazine. And then we've got a bundle of character sheets. These are glued together as well, obviously designed to be torn off and given to people. But we've got Crantor Thranax, a human rogue charlatan. Image on the back, plenty of space for spells and things, background information. Rizagagar Stormhelm, a Hill Dwarf cleric, acolyte, all 1st level. Female cleric. Irina Iloris, Wood Elf fighter outlander. A -1 intelligence. Standard elf rogue. And a Lightfoot halfling wizard, Merovich Farfoot. He's a sage. -2 on strength. And a lovely little image. They're quite nice. What else we got here? And another, start your adventure today. So, what is Dungeons & Dragons? At its heart, it's a game played together with friends and family that focuses on storytelling. Dice, Dungeon Master, players, character sheet, just a basic introduction to D&D. Now, I wonder if they're going to be giving away all the rules with future images, because this seems to hint that you don't need a player's handbook. They've got their dice jail, which looks like they've got it upside down. It looks like there's feet on the top there. They've got their cups of orange juice, a bowl of crisps. Somebody's got a fancy dice which isn't included with the game or with the magazine. They're using the character sheets. They've got the magazine, but nobody seems to have any player's handbooks. Some in the background there, but I wonder if they're intending this to be Dungeons & Dragons without needing the rulebooks. Once you've got all the folders, you can just play from that. Because they do include the combat rules in this and some advice on how to use skills inside your magazine. So it goes over the sections again. It's going to go into combat, lore, encounters, etc. Your collection, talking about what the magazine will build out to be. Color-coded adventures. Become a D&D expert. And subscribe today. And the magazine itself. So, Contents. We've got Sage Advice, Let's Play, the World of D&D, Structure of Play, the DM, talking about Dungeon Master, Character Creation, Introducing to Playing Characters, Ability Scores, Species, Player Character Class, Equipment, and then Locations, Fandalin. So we've got the basics here. Playing D&D is an exercise in collaborative creation, which I like that. I like very much talking about it. When we've all tried to explain what RPGs are in the past, I definitely have found that talking about it as collaborative storytelling is the best way. People can kind of understand that. The adventure begins, so we go through a very brief, basic information about players and dungeon masters. Then we've got the world of D&D. So that you decide. The Forgotten Realms is a land of high fantasy. The origins of D&D. Structure of play. Decide who will take on the role of the dungeon master. That sounds very easy. Everyone else takes on a character. Story begins. Players describe their actions. Roll the dice. The adventure continues. And we've got a basic description of why you're rolling dice. We've got difficulty classes, how to make ability checks, exceptions to the rules, saving throws, attack and damage rolls, advantage and disadvantage. So a very basic coverage of the D&D rules. An explanation about Dungeon Master and NPCs, and NPC ability checks, Session 0, playing the game, personalizing your story, creating a balanced party, induction to player characters. So we've got the 4 player characters, which we've got character sheets for. Talking through ability scores, what they mean. Ability scores, dice rolls, high scores, associated skills, proficiency bonuses. And then we've got a very brief coverage of species, what that means. And using the word species, which I'm a fan of instead of race. Your character species, and we cover here humans, halfling, lightfoots, hill dwarves, and wood elves. Now, I would have preferred if they'd just, at this point, gone humans, halflings, dwarves, elves, and included the sort of 4 core race for fantasy, and expanded out that way, rather than going into sub-races already. And we've got character classes. So, first level, explaining about levels, and then going through the classes. Now, all of these are for the 4 characters, so the different races that were chosen out and the 4 classes are the ones for the character sheets that they've given us. Equipment, going through equipment packs. I think that's laid out better than the Player's Handbook does. And then describing about Fandalin, a small map of it. I would have much preferred a larger map, but maybe that's the map that comes with the second issue. Exploring Fandalin, nearby landmarks, welcome to it, and then an encounter. They call it everywhere else an adventure, and I was a bit surprised when they called it an encounter in here. It is a bit more than that. It's basically a building within has been taken over by monsters, these rat creatures, and the players have to go in and clear it out. It's a very basic introduction to Dungeons & Dragons. You know, there's some monsters taken over and then go and rescue the people inside. It's fairly straightforward. Encounter overview, encounter goals, how to begin it, and with a description. To escape a downpour, you make for the warmth of the Stonehill Inn, a popular roadhouse in the mining town of Fandalin. As you approach, you notice something odd. Warm lights shine from within, but no laughter or music can be heard. And we've got the descriptions of the different rooms, a map. Talk through these, the cranium rats, which have taken over the inn. Upper rooms, going through those, the ale cellar, how to end the encounter. We've got the creature stat blocks for the swarm of rats, a magical item, or the bright blade, which can be found in the adventure, and the stats for the cranium rats and commoners, so ordinary species. 10 stats across the board. Now, this is a pretty good introduction. It's fantastic for $1.99. You know, some free, if cheap, dice, and the sort of introductory rules. I'm impressed. For this price, it's fantastic. I will pick up the second issue and I'll cover that, and we can see what direction it's going in. But with the quality of the freebie, I was expecting that to rattle when I shook it there. Of course it doesn't, everything's stored in nice foam. But with the quality, with the third issue of you just getting those flat printed miniatures, I don't think I'll go beyond the second issue. But I'll pick up the second one, get myself some more more cheap dice, and see what else is in it, see whether it's worthy continuing. But I'm still astonished. The fact that Dungeons & Dragons and role-playing are on the shelves of major stores across the UK and getting such a large focus. I've been told that this has been advertised quite heavily on television as well, although I don't tend to watch a lot of television, so I haven't seen that for myself. But anyway, I think I've whittled on for quite long enough, so thank you very much for watching. And as always, most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.